Good morning. How are you today? Nice to see you. You know, it's interesting. I know what you're thinking, and we always think alike, which is really cool. I think that's why we're having a little bit of a symbiosis here, you know? Well, you're thinking, Mark, did Ratt become that legacy band, that rock and roll band, like an AC/DC, like a Van Halen, like a Rolling Stones? And to you, I say, in my heart of hearts, they are. I love me some Ratt and roll. I love it. But if you weigh the facts, the figures, and kind of the way things panned out, you'd have to say no. They're not a legacy band per se, but they're a band with legacy songs. Hear me out here. Now, if you listen to a classic rock station, you're going to hear Round and Round, right? You may hear Wanted Man on some, you may hear Dance, you may hear Slip of the Lip on some real progressive classic rocks, but you will hear Round and Round for sure. If you look at a band like Van Halen, you're going to hear 15 to 20 different songs. If you look at a band like Def Leppard, you're going to hear 15 to 20 different songs. Also, I'm a big fan of Polestar, which is the Bible of the concert industry, and it kind of shows you ticket sales of what's going on. Def Leppard could still play arenas, playing stadiums with Motley Crue. Another band, Motley Crue, you'd hear multiple songs on. So I guess you'd have to say, by facts and figures, they aren't that legacy band, but in my heart of hearts, they are. I love the band Ratt, and I'm glad you brought them up. Mr. Stephen Pearcy on vocals, Juan Crocier, the Dancing Minstrel on bass, Robin King Crosby on guitar, and one of the most underrated guitar players in the world, kind of analogous to the band Ratt, Warren DeMartini, and Bobby the Blotzer on the drums. When they were firing on all cylinders, that band was amazing. I remember hearing You Think You're Tough on some local lick station like KLOS or KMET back in the day. Had to be early 80s sometime. And I just thought the title was killer. Like the DJ's like, here's a local LA band called Ratt with You Think You're Tough. I'm like, that's so rad. And then the riff, bum bum ba bum bum ba ba blast just ripped. I thought the song was killer, but I forgot about it because it was a local lick song on an independent label, and you know, independent music back then wasn't making an impact beyond specialty stores. Certainly weren't hearing on MTV. You weren't really hearing on the radio. So it's kind of ironic that I discovered Ratt on a local lick show on their independent EP, as it were. And I was listening to a podcast recently, and I heard Mark Torian from the Bullet Boys. Remember Smooth Up in Ya? Mark Torian apparently co-wrote You Think You're Tough, which blew me away. So being the 3-time Rock and Roll Jeopardy champion that I am, I had to get the knowledge and had to receive it and retain it. I went onto Wikipedia, which is always correct, right? And checked, and I didn't see his name there, but I like the story, so I'm going to shoehorn it in this one. Apparently Mark Torian had something to do with the writing of You Think You're Tough. So I heard that Ratt, I forgot about it, went back to my Damned and Susan the Banshees and Specimen and No One Understands Me music, right? And then like, I think in 84, I saw the Round and Round video with Ratt. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm officially a Ratt and Roller. I love the song. They had signed to Atlantic Records by then. Sugar Ray was on Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? It's in the air. It's in the universe. So I thought, what a great song. You know, kind of the second wave of metal to come out of LA after Van Halen just opened up the doors for everybody. And come on, Quiet Riot, come on in. Ratt, come on in. You know, we'll let you in. So it was kind of the second wave of explosion, which was fighting against like new wave and all that. I mean, there was a real push and pull between like new row and metal, and it was so defined back then. It was so segregated and compartmentalized. You couldn't like both. But of course, I wouldn't acknowledge. I'd go see Iron Maiden, at Irvine Meadows one night, and then I could put makeup on and go see Flock of Seagulls the next night at Universal or something. So don't tell anybody. But out of the Cellar, what a killer record. Now that's a triple platinum record. Had Wanted Man on it, Round and Round. They were really starting to play arenas now. Now they're playing arenas, and like this band is great. Can they do it again? Next record comes back, Invasion of Your Privacy. Amazing. Lay It Down. What a great song. You're in Love. Amazing. Now this band's firing on all cylinders. another multi-platinum record. So they are primed. They've got Atlantic Records behind them. They're selling out arenas. Stephen Pierce is great. The band is just something about those five people together are amazing. And you always say that about original bands. There's something in the air. There's something about the dynamic. There's something about the tension that makes those bands great. And you go, why can't you get the original band back together? Well, I always say, if you can go call your original boyfriend and girlfriend tonight and go on a date with them, then I'll tell you why we can't get the original band back together. Can you hear me now? So Invasion of Privacy happens. Now they're all set up. After that was my favorite record by Ratt, Dancing Undercover, which had Dance on it. Dance, dance, dance. Such a great song. And my favorite Ratt song by far, shout out to my bro Mitch, Slip of the Lip, which has the coolest guitar riff of all time. And it's a sneaky little time signature thing that Warren DeMartini does that is so killer on that. And so now Ratt, I'm like, wow, Ratt is going to become that legacy band. They are that, and a huge part of my growing up and in my musical DNA. I believe the record after that was, forgive me, I think Reach for the Sky came after that. With Way Cool Jr., another great song. I love that song. A little saxophone. And there's so Ratt's just playing along. Another platinum record for their walls, and then Detonator was after that. And another great solid batch of rock and roll songs. So now Ratt is an arena band. They've been an arena band for a while. I mean, they're just untouchable now, And then what's knocking on the door? Well, you know what's coming next. 1991 happens. I believe I saw Point Break, and I heard probably the last promoted Ratt single, which was Nobody Rides for Free off the Point Break soundtrack, the movie Point Break. And then that was kind of it for Ratt, Nirvana came a knocking, grunge busted through the door, and that whole genre just kind of went away. Some survived, some were hanging on, the Def Leppards of the world, who I don't think Ratt ever had the international success that would have promoted them to that legacy status that a band like Bon Jovi had, a band like Def Leppard had. Because I remember touring the world in the early 90s, mid-90s, and those bands were still doing great in Europe and around the world. They just, they were playing 1,000-seaters here in the States, and 3 years earlier they'd sold out multiple arenas in multiple dates in multiple cities. So I just think there's levels to this thing, man. There's one-hit wonders. There's bands with a couple of hits. We all try to be a legacy band. Once you have the incredible serendipity and luck to become successful in the music industry, we all try to become the Eagles. We all try to become AC/DC. We just not all can do it. Ratt was this close, and in my heart, they always will be that band. They are that band to me. But I realize they aren't that band for everybody. Now, the good news is they're still around, still playing. Stephen Pierce I got to meet a few times. Cool dude. I heard Blotz is back. Warren DeMartini's still around. Juan's still around. King, we lost about 20 years ago. Bless his heart. But, they're still there, and there's still some more Ratt and Roll to be had. Will they be in the Ratt and Roll Hall of Fame? There'll be one in my heart, for sure. So, you know me on these Robe chats. I like to take on the heavy subjects. So I appreciate you listening to this one. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but the best. And have a great day. And back to your regularly scheduled programming. Man, we think alike.